The doors are made of solid bronze, each one weighing thousands of pounds. They don't just keep people out, they keep something in. Behind them, miles of underground corridors, shelves stacked with ancient books, locked away letters, and manuscripts written by hands long turned to dust. There are no public tours, no casual visitors, no cameras allowed. It's called the Vatican Secret Archives, and it's one of the most restricted places on Earth. What's inside? Documents so dangerous they could rewrite history. Evidence of extraterrestrial contact, buried before the world could see it. Lost gospels, forbidden texts, even blueprints for controlling all of humanity. But here's the part that should keep you up at night. For over 400 years, the Vatican has locked these secrets away, sealed, untouched, off limits. The question is why? What could be so dangerous, so earth-shattering, that it needs to be hidden for centuries? And more importantly, who decides what we're allowed to know? Because once you control knowledge, you don't just control the past, you control reality itself. For nearly 2,000 years, the Catholic Church has shaped human history, not just through faith, but through power, control, and suppression. They've declared which books are holy and which are heretical. They've silenced scientists, executed dissenters, and rewritten history in their favor. And every time someone asked too many questions, they made sure those questions died with them. The Galileo affair. When Galileo proved the Earth wasn't the center of the universe, the Vatican put him on trial and forced him to renounce his own discoveries. His punishment? House arrest for life. The forbidden texts. Over the centuries, the Church has banned, burned, or outright erased books that challenged their authority. Entire Gospels written by early followers of Christ were declared blasphemous and vanished. Then we have the Inquisition, a brutal campaign to purge heresy spanning centuries. People were tortured and executed, often for simply asking the wrong questions. The 1940s cover-ups. As World War II raged, the Vatican played both sides, forging secret deals with the Axis powers while publicly maintaining neutrality. The full truth? Still buried.
Yeah, let's all trust the organisation that literally ran an international torture department for centuries. Just pray and obey, folks. Oh, and don't ask about that pile of banned books and silent scholars over there. Total coincidence.
All right. I hear you. But let's be fair. Every empire has skeletons in its closets. The difference? Most of them don't claim divine authority while holding the shovel. And this is just the history we know about, folks. If this is what they've done in the open, then what kind of secrets are locked away in the archives? The Vatican Archives aren't just any library. This isn't your local church's back room with some old scrolls. This is the most restricted collection of historical documents on Earth. And not just anyone can walk in. Over 50 miles of underground shelves exist. Documents dating back over 1,000 years. Texts, letters, and manuscripts, some so sensitive even popes aren't allowed to see them all. So who holds the keys? Well, at the top of the chain is the prefect of the Vatican Apostolic Archives. Think of him as the CEO of secrecy, appointed by the Pope himself. His job? Decide what gets out and what stays buried. Then there's the Secretariat of State, the Vatican's intelligence arm. If the Pope is the head of the church, this office is its shadow government. They manage Vatican diplomacy, classified communications, and you guessed it, the flow of information in and out of the archives.
Oh sure, let's just trust a 2,000-year-old empire that literally had its own army, tortured people for heresy, and somehow still operates as its own independent country. No red flags there. Definitely the kind of guys I'd let babysit my classified documents.
I mean, fair, but let's be honest, Wendell, if the Vatican wanted to take over the world, they had 2,000 years to do it. Maybe they're not as all-powerful as we think, or maybe they already did, and we just call it history. But here's where things get sinister. The Vatican has its own secret service, its own bank, with accounts hidden from public scrutiny, and its own police force, trained in counterintelligence. Why does a religious institution need an intelligence network? Why do they need their own financial empire? And why do they need a sealed-off underground labyrinth filled with documents the world isn't allowed to see? Because power isn't just about faith, it's about control. Here's how they keep the archives sealed, tighter than Fort Knox. First, only Vatican-appointed scholars get access. Even then, they can only view pre-approved documents, and copying them is strictly controlled. Next, the secret keeper rule. If you work in the archives, you take a vow of silence. Speak out, you're excommunicated. Then, documents disappear. The Vatican has been known to lose inconvenient records, sometimes for centuries. And then there's the 75-year rule. Any Vatican document involving global affairs, religious conflicts, or papal decisions is kept secret for at least 75 years before even the most vetted scholars can peek at it. Why? Because knowledge is a time bomb. Some truths are too dangerous to be known while the people involved are still alive. And some truths, they're never meant to be known at all. Deep beneath Vatican City, hidden behind centuries of secrecy, lies the most restricted collection of historical records in existence. What's inside? Let's crack open the door. First, the missing books of the Bible. We take for granted that the Bible we know today is the true version. But what if entire books, entire accounts of human history, were erased? Next, the Gospel of Mary Magdalene, suggesting she may have been more than just a disciple. Then we have the Book of Enoch, describing angels descending to earth and corrupting mankind. Then we also have the Gospel of Judas, portraying Judas not as a traitor, but as the chosen one. Now, why were these texts declared heretical? Who decided which stories would shape Christianity and which would disappear?
Sure, let's just delete entire books because they don't fit the narrative. That's like throwing out the last season of a TV show because you don't like the ending. Except, with the fate of humanity on the line.
2. The chronovisor, the Vatican's time machine. A device that can see into the past. A machine that may have captured actual images of Jesus Christ. Sounds insane, right? Except there's a reason this theory won't die. In the 1960s, Father Pellegrino Ernetti, an esteemed Catholic priest and scientist, claimed he helped build a device that could view any moment in time. According to Ernetti, it worked like a temporal TV screen, pulling images from the past based on residual energy imprints. He claimed to have seen the crucifixion of Christ, the lost plays of ancient Rome, even the founding of Rome itself. Then, suddenly, silence. Ernetti vanished from public life. Before his death, he recanted his story, but those most close to him say he was forced to do so. Does the Vatican have access to a device that lets them see history unfold in real time? If so, it would explain why they guard certain truths so aggressively.
So we're out here struggling to figure out what's real. And meanwhile, the Vatican's got Netflix for history. What's next? They're sitting on the lost tapes of Atlantis.
3. The secret agreements with extraterrestrials. The Vatican has an entire department dedicated to studying the possibility of alien life. That's not a conspiracy theory, that's fact. The Vatican Observatory Research Group actively investigates exoplanets and the potential for extraterrestrial life. High-ranking Vatican officials, including Jesuit astronomer Guy Consolmagno, have publicly stated that alien life wouldn't contradict Catholic teachings. Leaked documents suggest the Vatican may have been briefed on extraterrestrial contact decades ago. If humanity ever officially discovers alien life, what does the Vatican already know that they haven't told us?
Oh yeah, no big deal. Just a 2,000-year-old institution, quietly studying alien life while preaching about sin and salvation. What else are they hiding? An intergalactic confession booth.
4. The prophecies of Fatima, the message they won't reveal. In 1917, 3 shepherd children in Portugal claimed to have received visions from the Virgin Mary. These visions included 3 apocalyptic prophecies. The first 2 came true. One predicted World War II. The other warned of communist Russia's rise to power. The third? The Vatican kept it hidden for decades. When they finally released it in 2000, it was underwhelming. Supposedly, it just predicted an assassination attempt on a pope. But many believe that wasn't the real prophecies. Leaked Vatican reports suggest it foretold a global catastrophe, a warning about a coming cataclysm, possibly involving nuclear war or a celestial event. Some claim the true prophecy was too terrifying to release. If that's true, what exactly are they hiding? 5. The real location of the Ark of the Covenant. If the most powerful religious relic in history still exists, the Vatican would absolutely want to control it. The Ark of the Covenant, said to hold the 10 Commandments and possess immense supernatural power. Some theories suggest the Ark was hidden away before Jerusalem fell and smuggled to Ethiopia. Others claim the Vatican took possession of it centuries ago and keeps it under lock and key. If the Ark is real and the Vatican has it, why haven't they revealed it?
Oh yeah, let's just hoard God's nuclear reactor in a basement vault like it's a box of old receipts. That won't come back to bite anyone. Meanwhile, humanity's out here stuck with plastic rosaries and holy water in tiny spray bottles.
We've only scratched the surface. Lost books, hidden relics, secret technology, suppressed history, prophecies they won't share, the possibility that they know something we were never meant to know. The Vatican's grip on knowledge is unmatched. But the real question is always, why? Are they hoarding secrets for power? Or could there be truths too dangerous for the world to handle? And if so, who gave them the right to decide? For centuries, the Vatican has been accused of hiding knowledge that could rewrite human history. But how do they manage to keep the world's biggest secrets buried? Because let's be real, if you had the truth about the origins of humanity, lost civilizations, and maybe even extraterrestrials sitting in your basement, you wouldn't just rely on the lock and key. So how does the Vatican maintain its iron grip on knowledge? Let's go through it. First, the secret circles. Who really knows? The Vatican operates on a strict need-to-know basis. Even high-ranking bishops don't have access to the secret archives. Only the Pope, the archivist, and a handful of trusted scholars are allowed inside, and even then, they don't see everything. The deeper secrets? They're controlled by shadowy inner circles. These groups don't just preserve knowledge, they decide what's too dangerous for the public to know.
Oh sure, let's just handpick a few old guys in robes to be the sole keepers of human history. Who needs democracy when you've got a council of Gandalf lookalikes making all the big decisions? 2. Control of history. What's written, what's erased.
The Vatican has the oldest and most complete historical records on Earth. And here's the thing, whoever controls the past controls the future. They own original documents from fallen empires, things that could reveal lost knowledge. They have direct control over what gets translated, published, or conveniently forgotten. The Church actively shaped Western history for over 1,000 years, which means they didn't just witness history, they wrote it. If certain discoveries contradicted Church teachings, they disappeared. Simple as that.
Oh, don't mind us. Just deleting entire chapters of history like we're editing a bad Wikipedia entry. Nothing suspicious about that at all.
Then we have the disappearing whistleblowers. Throughout history, scholars, priests, and researchers have come forward claiming the Vatican was hiding something. And time after time, they vanished from public life. In 1600, Giordano Bruno proposed the idea of an infinite universe with countless inhabited worlds. The Vatican labeled him a heretic and burned him at the stake. In the 1940s, Father Ernetti claimed to have worked on the chronovisor, a device that could view the past. He later recanted, but his colleagues insisted he was forced to. In 1988, Father Malachi Martin, a former Vatican insider, claimed the church was covering up demonic possessions and extraterrestrial contact. He later died in a mysterious fall down the stairs. Coincidence or a pattern?
Oh yeah, just a string of totally accidental deaths. Happens all the time when you expose world-altering secrets. Nothing to see here, folks.
4. The propaganda machine. How they control the narrative. Whenever a Vatican secret leaks, notice what happens. The official response? Silence. Then, if the pressure builds, a carefully worded dismissal. If that doesn't work, a slow, quiet character assassination of the whistleblower. This isn't just speculation, it's how the Vatican has handled PR disasters for centuries. The chronovisor story was first ignored, then laughed at, then debunked. The Fatima prophecies were hidden for decades, then sanitized before being released. The discovery of ancient Christian texts that contradict the official Bible? Buried in academic circles, dismissed as irrelevant. See the pattern? It's not about proving something false. It's about making it disappear from public discussion.
The go-to move of gaslight, discredit, delete. Love that for them? Oh, you think we're hiding something? That's crazy. Also, don't ask again, or we'll make you disappear.
5. The final layer. Who pulls the strings? At the highest levels, there's a final question that no one asks. The Vatican has secrets even their own cardinals don't have access to. If the Pope doesn't have full control of the archives, then who does? Is the Vatican truly independent? Or just a front for something even bigger? Some theories suggest certain families, organizations, or hidden elites have controlled the church for centuries. And if that's true, then what else do they control? History? Religion? Science? Our perception of reality itself? And the biggest question of all, why?
So we've got a secret government inside a secret church running a secret archive. What's next? The Pope's actually a lizard. Honestly, at this point, I wouldn't be surprised.
Hey, let's not go full conspiracy iceberg just yet. But if a reptilian in a Pope hat ever walks out on the balcony, I want it on record that Wendell called it first. The Vatican's secret archives have fueled speculation for centuries. But how much of what we've covered is actually backed by hard evidence? Well, let's break it down. First, the archives are real, but how secret are they? Yes, the Vatican Apostolic Archive, formerly called the Vatican Secret Archive, absolutely exists. It spans 85 kilometers, 53 miles, of shelves and holds documents dating back over 1,000 years. Until recently, access was incredibly restricted. Only elite Vatican historians were allowed in. But here's the twist. In 2019, Pope Francis declassified portions of it. Theoretically, it's more open now. So does that mean all the secrets are out?
Oh yeah, sure. I bet they just left the alien autopsy files right out in the open for us. Come on in, take a look. We definitely didn't move the good stuff to a hidden underground vault somewhere.
Right? Just like how every classified government document is totally declassified, but somehow all the juicy bits are blacked out with a Sharpie. Then we have the lost religious texts. Do they have a different Bible? We know the Vatican has ancient Christian texts that didn't make it into the modern Bible. The Gospel of Judas, the Dead Sea Scrolls, and the Book of Enoch are real historical documents that were excluded from official church doctrine. Some of these texts paint a radically different picture of Jesus, Satan, and the nature of God. But does that mean the Vatican is hiding a real Bible? Not quite. Scholars confirm that early Christian leaders chose which books to include, but this wasn't necessarily a conspiracy. It was politics and theology clashing.
Oh, so a bunch of guys in robes cherry-picked history to fit their agenda. Shocking. Next, you're going to tell me fast food isn't good for you.
Third, a forbidden knowledge. Does the Vatican hide scientific discoveries? This one's harder to prove, but history shows they've done it before. The Catholic Church suppressed Galileo's work when he proved the Earth wasn't the center of the universe. The Church banned books during the Renaissance, controlling which scientific ideas spread. Some whistleblowers claim they've hidden knowledge about human origins, including possible links to ancient civilizations. So, could they still be suppressing discoveries today? It's possible, but there's no smoking gun. We don't have leaked documents or insiders saying, hey, they found alien technology and it's in a Vatican basement.
Yeah, but you know what we do have? Hundreds of years of cover-ups. If you're willing to burn people at the stake for saying the Earth moves, you're probably willing to stash a few inconvenient discoveries under lock and key.
4. The conspiracy theory overload. Is there any proof of extraterrestrial documents? Well, some claim the Vatican has secret records of UFO encounters dating back centuries. Others say the Vatican knows about non-human intelligence and has even made contact. The Malachi Martin claims that a high-ranking priest said the Vatican was aware of extraterrestrials are purely anecdotal. There's no verifiable proof. Does the Vatican have information about life beyond Earth? Here's the closest real evidence we have. The Vatican runs its own advanced astronomical observatory, including the Lucifer telescope. Yes, that's its actual name. Several Vatican astronomers have publicly stated that belief in aliens wouldn't contradict Catholic theology. But there's no hard evidence that they're sitting on files about UFO crashes or ancient alien contact.
Okay, but explain this. Why does a church need one of the most advanced space observatories in the world? Seems a little off-brand for an organization that's supposed to be looking inward, not outward.
5. The missing evidence. What happened to the files we know existed? Many key documents from history are just gone. Records of early Christianity that might show a different version of events, lost. Files on the Inquisition, missing crusaders, and censored books, also vanished. Some Vatican accounts suggest documents were moved, hidden, or even destroyed to prevent them from undermining church authority. The truth? We'll probably never know what was lost. Okay, so the final take, what's real and what's myth? The Vatican Archive is real, and it contains restricted documents. Some religious texts were suppressed or excluded from mainstream doctrine. The Church has historically controlled information, and still does to an extent. But is there undeniable proof of aliens, secret advanced tech, or lost civilizations? Not yet. And that's the thing about secrets this big. If they were easy to prove, they wouldn't be secrets anymore. We want to believe that history is written in ink, that the truth is solid, unshakable, and permanent. But history is written in fear. It's edited by power, and it's controlled by those who decide what you're allowed to know. For centuries, the Vatican has positioned itself as the gatekeeper of human knowledge. They don't just own history, they curate it. So here's the question. What happens when the truth is too big to tell? The Vatican presents itself as the guardian of Christianity, morality, and divine wisdom. But let's be brutally honest. It has orchestrated wars in the name of God. It has silenced voices that questioned its authority. It has rewritten entire chapters of history to keep control. And yet, it claims to be the ultimate moral compass. But what if the church was never really about faith? What if it was always about power? The Vatican has always had a complicated relationship with knowledge. The lost Gospels, records that tell a different version of history than the one we were given. The forbidden sciences, ideas once explored, then buried under threats of exile, imprisonment, or worse. The missing histories, accounts from civilizations that didn't fit the narrative quietly erased from public record. And yet, every time someone tries to look deeper, the response is always the same. There's nothing to find. Trust us. Don't ask questions. Which raises a question of its own. Why would an institution built on truth be so afraid of people looking for it? Let's make something clear. Faith isn't the problem. People believing in something bigger than themselves, that's not the crime. The crime is when a small group of men appoint themselves the sole arbiters of truth. They tell you what you're allowed to believe. They decide what history should look like. They choose which knowledge dies and which survives. That's not faith, that's control. Imagine for a moment that the Vatican Archives were fully unsealed, not just to scholars, not just to a select few, but to everyone. Would we find proof of long-lost civilizations? Would we uncover knowledge that could rewrite history as we know it? Or would we realize that much of what we've been told was carefully curated, carefully shaped, so that we only ever saw one version of the story? Because here's the thing about control. It only works if people don't know they're being controlled. Maybe it's not just the lost gospel. Maybe it's not just proof of extraterrestrials or ancient technologies. Maybe the biggest secret isn't what's inside. Maybe it's the reason we've never been allowed to see. Because when you control the past, you don't just control history, you control the future. And the scariest part? The future is still being written. And maybe it's already been decided for us. Thanks for watching tonight. I'm Ralph, that's Wendell, who by the way is still very salty about humanity in general, and this has been another crazy file of Divergent Files. If you laughed, learned something, or just didn't totally hate this, smash that like button, hit subscribe, and appease the almighty algorithm overlords. I know you hear this from every YouTube channel out there, but seriously, it's the difference between us keeping the lights on or Wendell having to moonlight as a car wash mascot. Do you want to go deeper? Join our crew for as little as $3 a month. You'll get behind the scenes madness, early access, and even extended episodes, stuff too wild for the main channel. Plus, you'll be helping us dive into even more insane topics we couldn't otherwise tackle without you. Head over to patreon.com/divergentfiles to see what's waiting for you. Oh, and get this. We're not just a YouTube channel, we're also in your ears now. Divergent Files Project Podcast is live wherever you listen to podcasts. It's got extended episodes, unfiltered content, and deep dives into stuff YouTube would probably freak out about if we uploaded it here. Seriously, if you think we push boundaries on YouTube, wait until you hear what we unleash over there. Here's the deal, folks. You're not just an audience. You're the lifeblood of this channel. Your curiosity, your wild theories, your random comments, they keep this thing alive. Got an idea for a video? Drop it below. I read them all. Yes, even the unhinged ones. And who knows? Your idea might be next on deck. The world is strange. The stories even crazier. And we're just here trying to make sense of it.